I'm here with Todd McKinley. He's running for 1st District Congressman for U.S. Congress on the Republican ticket. First off, Todd, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. A little bit about myself. I'm from Sullivan County, Kingsport, born and raised. Went to high school there, graduated in 1996. Grew up pretty traditional, playing sports, baseball, basketball, and football, like any other kid. Wiffle ball in the backyard, riding the bikes. Entered the Army while I was still in high school. Served 20 years and 29 days. I was in communications, the Signal Corps. I was also a paratrooper, jumped out of a lot of planes, and I served in Iraq as a military advisor to the Iraqi Army, Iraqi police, and also served in Afghanistan as a platoon sergeant in 82nd Airborne, and I also served 6.5 years at the White House for 6.5 years, serving under Vice President Cheney primarily, doing the continuity of the government, continuity of the presidency, and I carried what is called the communications football. Worked in tandem with the military aide who carries the nuclear football. After I retired, came back home, got involved in veteran service organizations, primarily the American Legion, which next weekend, June 22nd, 23rd timeframe, I'll be the district commander for the American Legion in the 1st District. So I'm very, very involved in veteran service organizations and running for office. That's me in a nutshell.
So why have you decided to run for office?
Many different reasons. One, I'm tired of the Congress or U.S. House abdicating their role to the executive branch. I think if you're sent there to represent the will of your constituents, to be a legislator, you should legislate and never basically allow the executive branch to have any overreach, if you will, pass regulations that have the effect of law, and then every 2 years blaming essentially the executive branch for bad things that come out of Washington when it's really the legislative branch that's not done their job. And that's why you get executive overreach.
And what do you think is the biggest issue facing the United States right now?
Many different things. I think, good paying jobs is one of them. So that'd be a big deal right there. Also, inflation in the economy is a major problem. Education, the lack thereof, is a major problem. Several other things external to the country would be, radical Islamic terrorism. Also North Korea, which hopefully they're in check at this point. But we'll see how that turns out. Trust but verify, as Reagan would say. So those are some major external threats that we face, and also the internal threats. But really, another thing I would think is voter engagement. We have a lot of voter apathy, especially in Tennessee. We're next to last, I think, in voter registration per capita, and we are last in voter actual turnout. So voter apathy is a major problem that allows a lot of these other things to fester and go unanswered, if you will. So those are some problems that we face.
Okay, so let's narrow the focus down a little
Sure.
bit. What do you think is the biggest issue Tennessee is facing?
Like I said, I think voter apathy is a major problem. Also, the lack of really good-paying jobs is a big problem, especially in Northeast Tennessee. The median income is between $31,000 to $34,000, while the median income for statewide, I think, is about $10,000 more than that. And of course, nationwide median income is $50-some to $60-some thousand thereabouts. I don't have it in front of me, but ballpark. So Tennessee is pretty much down, especially Northeast Tennessee is very down on median income. And their elected representative in Washington makes $174,000 a year. So a major disparity there in with regards to that. So.
And what are your plans if you're elected?
Well, one, institute a constitutional amendment when it comes to term limits. Support convention of states that's one of their big problems or big issues, if you will, that they're pushing for. To get behind organizations like that and try to get that instituted, get a balanced budget instituted. I always tell people you have to balance your own personal checkbook and bank account. Why not the federal government? State of Tennessee has a balanced budget amendment, but the U.S. doesn't have that at the federal level. So those are two big things I'd like to see, and at the same time push a lot of the people's business back down to the states and local level, because that's really where things should be getting done. You think about this: local elections, county commissions, if you will, city BMAs. Those are people that live in your community and that you can reach out and touch and talk to. So I think if you had more things going on at that level, the people could have more of a say in what's going on in the world and the world around them, if you will, and have more of an influence in their community.
And is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
To be honest with you, a lot of things I'd love to say. I'd like to get on a stage with Congressman Rowe and debate him at some point. I mean, why not? I mean, I'll throw down the gauntlet. I've been asked by a number of young Republican clubs, if you will, in the district, and also the VFW in Bristol invited him to do a debate. And his district rep said, under no circumstances will we debate him. We do not want to legitimize his candidacy. And I'm like, here I am, a combat veteran, a military retiree from this area, come back home to serve people in this country, or excuse me, in the district, like I've served them for the last 20 years, in harm's way many times. I will take questions from the public. I will not duck, dodge, dive, or deflect their questions. So why is he going to be allowed to run and hide behind his office, if you will? Stand on the stage and take the questions of the people you represent. Whether you're going to like the questions that they have to say or like what they have to say to you, it doesn't matter. You represent everybody, and you should do it equally and evenly, and that's what I plan to do in Washington.
That was Todd McKinley. He's running for 1st District U.S. Congressman on the Republican ticket.